I we are recording. Okay, everything is for you now, Lorena.
Okay. Hello, everybody. How are you?
Hello. Good.
I'm really excited to be doing this webinar today. So this webinar is going to be in English, and we're going to be talking about stress. I think that stress is on everybody's mind nowadays. And either we feel stress or we don't want to feel stress, but how do we do it? And it's very difficult to manage our minds these days, I think. So I'm just gonna share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So now we're talking about the far-reaching effects of stress. Because stress is, we always think of stress like, just like, we're stressed at work and that type of stress, but there are actually different types of stress and how it actually, how it affects different parts of our bodies, which actually it's affecting all of our body. And so sometimes we can't change how difficult life can get. Like now, we can't really control what's going on. But we can use little techniques so we can change our perspective, also the way we think about it, to give our immune system and our minds a little helping hand. So I'm going to talk about how all of that. So first, let me introduce myself. My name is Lorena Salas, and I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner and a holistic nutritionist and a mindset coach. I'm trained by the Nutritional Therapy Association in the USA, and I'm married to a Frenchman, and I have 2 boys. My eldest boy is turning 11 tomorrow, so he's getting very, very big. And I'm actually from Argentina. I'm half British and a little bit French also because of my husband. So in this house we have three nationalities and 3 cultures, and we speak the 3 languages at home, so it's quite fun. And I've been in Barcelona for almost 6 years now. And before coming to Barcelona, I lived in Paris. I also lived in London, and so I've had several lives, let's say. And so a bit more about me. I'm originally a translator, English Spanish translator, and I'm also a professional makeup artist. So, so that's a fun fact about me. And so the work that I do is that I work with women in their 40s who are starting to feel like there are little things that are not going quite well. They feel tired, they feel not quite like themselves, and they start having symptoms. And it's usually related to the transition into perimenopause, which is the years before and after menopause, because it takes a few years to get there until you're, officially in menopause. So, our bodies go through a lot of changes, and so we need to work on doing a little tweaks to make sure that we are feeling our best. So I use mindset, as a mindset coach. It's not just about using willpower, because willpower most likely is not going to help us. As we know, it's very difficult to have willpower. We're always wanting to have willpower, and it's like us against us. So it's always this battle. So I think it's important to find out why we're doing what we're doing, or why we're not doing what we want to do, but we're not. So it's about also working on our minds and to overcome barriers and all these things that we are in our little heads that we're thinking, and that we're not taking the steps forward to where we want to be because of these beliefs that we have about ourselves. So it's a combination with nutrition and mindset, and I think that's a winning technique in order to succeed and reach our goals and dreams and feel better. So that's what I do. So now let's talk about stress. I think nowadays we're all feeling pretty stressed. I think that's and it's safe to say that we're all feeling pretty stressed. So let's first take a little quiz. I would like you to read these statements. And if you have a pen and paper, you can maybe write yes or no, just to know how many of these you answer yes or no. Because these are all things that gives us a little hint about our stress levels. And maybe we don't think of these as stress related. We just think, I can't sleep well, but it's because of, I have something going on tomorrow. But just read through them, and if you can reply yes or no, and so you can have a little idea of how we're doing with our stress.
We can use the chat for it. Would it be
Yeah,
good?
if you want to put your score out of 9, like just what number you have, all the yeses that you replied, that would be fun to see.
Okay, Deborah.
So what do we have?
Deborah has the full list.
So what are the scores? How can see the chat? Deborah,
You can see them.
there
Lorena, you have to go to the down menu.
5. Well, that's pretty good. Deborah 9. Well, well, pretty good actually, right? 5 out of 9. It's but still, 4 is great. So Mona and Edaya, I think it's pretty decent. So yeah, the thing is that we want to try to keep these as low as possible, because all of these things are related to how stressed we are, right? When you have trouble falling asleep or staying asleep, it's often related to our stress system. It's on overdrive, because we've been on stress all day long. It's nonstop. And so when you're feeling tired and you want to go to sleep, but your body's like, hey, no, we've been go all day. So what do you mean now we can't stop now? We're like we're on a roll now. We can't stop. So yeah, it's terrible when you feel tired and exhausted, but you go to sleep and you can't sleep, and then you wake up and so you're even more tired. So it creates this terrible snowball effect. And then what happens the next day? You because you didn't sleep well, so you feel tired. So obviously you have coffee, then you still feel tired because coffee is not really a magic. So you have more coffee, and then you have more coffee, and then that creates, spikes in your blood sugar. So then your body has a hard time to balance that. So then, you feel tired in the afternoon because your body has been trying to balance all that out, but it's hard because it's very delicate, that balance, that the way your body works. It wants to be in a very fine. You don't have much space to move around. So when you go very up when you're in your blood sugar with your insulin and your stress, all that makes your cortisol. It's like a shake, a bomb of hormones going on in your body. So your body has then to work very hard to go down and balance that. So that's why then you're tired and you crave sugary things like chocolate or more coffee, because you need to put your energy levels back up. So it's snowball effect. So it's important to work on it from early morning, right? Instead of trying to do something about it in the afternoon when you spend all day in a very stressful state. So let's move on. So now let's take a moment and let's breathe, because I think it's important all throughout the day. take the time to notice how, if you're breathing, because most likely we're breathing very shallow breath. We're kind of very tense and we don't really breathe properly. So, take a deep breath and relax, take this is your little moment to check in with yourself. Take a deep breath, breathe in and breathe out, and feel the air filling your lungs, and how, because breathing is very, it really helps you lower your stress levels. It really brings oxygen to all your cells in all your body. So really think about breathing and deep breathing all throughout the day. So the whole point is to balance and manage stress. You can't, like I said in the beginning, you can't change how difficult things are, but you can do things to try to manage your stress, right? So the whole point is you have good stress and you have bad stress. So it's a question of balance, because a bit of good stress is something that we have that is like, it's normal, right? So for example, think about this beautiful ballerina or somebody who performs on stage, somebody who speaks in public, like when you give a speech or a presentation, like me, like when you perform, when you are in front of the public, you're stressed, but that's good stress because it motivates you. It gives you like this, you have like good adrenaline that motivates you to go up and get on stage and do your performance, right? So it's good to have some good stress. That's like the smart stress. It keeps us, alive, basically. The problem is the bad stress, right? Because bad stress is all this long list of emotions and things that we feel, and most of us feel one or many, a lot of them every single day. And all this it's not like performing on stage where you are like, you feel it like maybe even a day before, but it doesn't last very long, because then you perform and then it's over, right? But the problem is that when it's chronic, when it's on a long-term base, these things are very, it makes you tired. Then you feel tired, you feel weak, because of how the stress cycle works. When you experience a stressful situation, either at work, at home with your family. So what happens is that you have stress hormones in your body, like cortisol, and these hormones withdraw energy from your energy storage bank that you have in your body. Like it takes this energy from protein stores in your body, but then what happens is that so these hormones take it and deliver it to your brain and to your muscles in order for you to move, right? To get on the stage, to do this, to run. But when it's chronic, it's like your body is constantly producing these stress hormones, and they're not leaving your body because you're still in this cycle. So the problem is that then we get very tired. We're exhausted. That's why there's like chronic fatigue, right? When the stress dial is on high for too long, right? You feel fatigued. You have headaches. Your immune system is compromised, so you get ill. Your digestion doesn't work properly, so you're bloated. You have digestive problems. Gas and all these horrible things. So, and then all that produces dysbiosis, which is when your gut is out of balance, and that's why you have bloating and gas and all those things. And that creates like the bad bacteria in your gut. And so that bacteria is fed from mostly sugar and starch. So that's why you crave these chocolate and sugary things, you know, because it's like your bad bacteria in your gut are asking for food. So they need to be fed, right? So it's like a cycle. It's terrible. So the stress cycle is called fight or flight. You may have heard of it. What happens during the fight or flight is that your body shuts down all the systems that are necessary to run, right? Your body is like, imagine you're being chased by a tiger. Your digestion, anything that is not vital is shut down, and all your energy is driven to your muscles, to your legs, so you can run. So it's what happens is that when your body releases a stress hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is a steroid hormone that is produced in your adrenal glands. And the adrenal glands are two little glands that are just above your kidneys. And so these are the glands that produce the cortisol that make you give you the energy to run, let's say. So for your body, it doesn't make any difference if it's a problem that you're having at work. You know, you're stressed, your boss is shouting at you, you're in traffic, your kids are driving you mad, and all these stressful situations. It's exactly the same in terms of, physiologically, as if you were being chased by a tiger in the middle of in nature. So it's exactly the same type of process that goes on in the body. The difference is that when you're chased by a tiger, you run, and either the tiger eats you or you're safe. So once you're out of harm, the tiger, you manage to run as fast as you can to so that the tiger doesn't eat you. That's it. You're like, oof, I'm safe. That's it. And then all that stress, goes down, and then you go back to your normal life. But the problem that we have nowadays is that stress, those stress levels, those hormones, they're always there. It's always on. It's always there. It's always active. And so that's what creates all these problems that I just mentioned. So that's what I just said. Your body doesn't know the difference between the stress caused by something at work or by being chased by a tiger. It's exactly the same. So what can we do about it? So let's look at some ways that you can manage your stress. So one thing, and that's pretty easy, you go outside, go do some exercise. That helps you with your dopamine and serotonin levels that are like the feel-good hormones. So whatever movement you can do, go for a walk, go for a gentle run, and ideally it's better to do not so high intensity interval training type of workouts, which are very intense. A lot of people think that it's great to release stress and to de-stress, but actually it can be more stressful for the body, because if you are already drained of energy and you're feeling very stressed, causing more stress than relaxation. So it depends, each person is different, but in general, I think that if you're feeling very stressed, it's better to do more gentle exercises than very intense type of workouts.
Yes, for example, sorry, Lorena,
yeah.
just one question. Yoga or Pilates, it could go well in this case, but not running.
Perfect.
Or, okay.
Yeah, I mean, a gentle, if you're used to running and you like to run, go out for a jog. I think it can be great, but not to the point where you're very, it's like a super long run, or you don't run very, because running is pretty stressful. But if you've been running all your life and you love it and you're used to it, by all means, don't, as I love this saying, don't change something that works. If it's something that works for you and you feel that it is helping you, because some people do it for stress reasons. They want to release their stress, and the best way that they know how to do that is by running. So it really, it's got to be something that you enjoy and that you like and that you feel is good for you, more than what I mean is, like, if you feel stressed and you're like, oh, I'm going to start running because that will help me release some stress, that's probably not the best thing to do if you are already, totally burnt out and under a lot of stress. But yoga and Pilates, I think it's perfect. They're great because they work on, it's strength. So you work on your strength, your muscles, and you're also relaxing, you're stretching. So it's a bit of everything. It's great.
Okay.
And also these practices of yoga and Pilates also include a lot of deep breathing. And breathing is really amazing to release stress. Breathing is like, if you have to choose one thing, I would say focus on your breathing, because it can be very powerful.
Yeah.
And well, there are practices that you might spend like an hour doing breathing exercises, and then you feel
Pranayama,
almost
yeah.
like, yeah, you feel great afterwards. And meditation also, you can also, meditation, even 10 minutes of meditation, you feel totally renewed. It's like if you had taken an hour nap. It's great meditation, and it makes you, it grounds you. It makes you calm down. It's like your moment. You turn your look inwards rather than always looking outside. It's like you connect with yourself. So I think that's always a good thing, to connect to how you're feeling and breathe, and yeah, it gives you another way of seeing things afterwards, I believe. And this also leads us to reframing, like how you see the world. So sometimes we're we can become very anxious about what's going on outside. So you can also think about, when you have a negative thought, then you can focus on something happy or pleasant instead, right? To kind of counterbalance all those negative things that we see outside, or about us, or about our lives. So then we become very anxious and we want to change everything, but we can also focus on what is actually good, what's good in our lives. And being right, having a general attitude of gratitude, I think that also like it grounds us, right? It makes us appreciate what we do have rather than what we don't. Yeah, I love to feel, it creates a shift in your mindset, and focus on the little things, rather than, oh, there's this pandemic, it's terrible. Yeah, but what is actually good in your life, because I'm sure there are plenty of good things. So focus on the little things, and yeah, gratitude. I love that. And then, generally throughout your day, put some music, music that you like, that you enjoy. Maybe you can dance. I think for me, music, it really changes your the way you feel. I think it really makes you, yeah, it makes you happy. You dance, or maybe it also includes some movement, and you can release a bit of that stress that you have inside of you. I love it. Then obviously, nourishing your body with whole foods, and this is super important, because when you eat processed food, that's like, it's called a stressor for your body. Your body feels attacked also when you eat processed foods, and foods that are full of additives and chemicals and preservatives and colorings, all these artificial sweeteners and artificial colorings. Anything that is chemical really is really very aggressive to your body, and your body then creates inflammation to protect itself, and it surrounds these molecules with like mucus. So your body creates a lot of mucus when it's inflamed. So it's also another effect of like when you're stressed. One way you can reduce stress is by eating whole foods. I don't like to say healthy foods, because healthy means different things for many people. Just focus on real food, having whole real food and nourishing food, because then also your brain, when you eat healthy foods, your body functions properly, and so it can perform all its functions well, and also for your brain, so you can think clearly, and you don't have this cloud on your brain, on your mind. So for me, that's also one of the key things. Obviously I'm a nutritionist, so I'm always, I'm an advocate for real food. That's really like the simplest way to look at it. Doesn't matter if, what it is, how many eggs you can eat every day, that kind of thing, how many calories, how many, the macronutrients. I think it's if you just focus on eating real food, is it grown in nature? Can you find it in nature? Does it grow in a plant? From a plant, not made in a plant. That's also a big distinguishing difference. If it's made in a plant by men, then don't eat it. if it grows on a plant, then yes, it's good to eat. So yeah, real food, whole foods. That's what you want to focus on. So yeah, these are all steps that you can take every day to manage your stress. It's really a question of including a little bit of all of these things every day to feel better, really, and understanding what's going on in your body when you're stressed also. So that's all from me. I'd love to answer any questions that you have. If you have any questions.
Well, yes, I have one, because I think it was super useful. And you can relate now to your present situation, but I would like to know, how can I deal with future stress? Because right now I'm feeling a little bit of it because of Christmas coming.
Mm-hmm.
Normally it's a season that I don't like, and especially this year I can feel it a little worse because of the situation. So how you deal with this, with a future event?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that whatever is in the future, you can't really control because it's in the future. So actually you're worrying for something that is maybe is not going to happen, really. Like, you worry. I'm also worried about Christmas because I have tickets to go to Argentina to spend Christmas with my mom there, and we're not gonna go, most likely. And then otherwise we would go to my in-laws in France, but we might not be even able to go there. So we don't know what's going to happen for Christmas. We might just spend it here, the four of us at home. I don't know. But the thing about worrying about what's in the future is that you're worrying for something that is out of your control, really, unless you can control it. Like in my case, it's either we just have to decide, do we go to Argentina or can we go? And maybe the decision will be made for us. Like if the flight is canceled or they say you can't go because of this and that, that's it. They've made the decision for us.
Yeah.
And then either we decide, no, we're not going to go because I'm afraid I'm going to, I don't want to make my mom sick. So maybe I don't go because of that. But it's a question of deciding, like, well, what are you worried about? Like, is it because you have to travel, because you have to stay home? You have to make a decision in order to stop worrying. So if it's out of your control, if it's the pandemic, you can't really control the pandemic. It's like it's totally out of your control. So it's like you're worrying about something that it is not you can't control, and it's in the future. So it might not even happen.
Yeah.
It might be something that will never happen. So there's not much point in worrying about that. But obviously it's normal to worry.
Yeah. When you say so, it's so super obvious, but then your mind goes away and makes hypotheses and imagine future things that probably won't happen, as you said.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's true. It's something out of my control, and I guess most of the people is feeling more, well, a kind of this feeling is mutual, I guess. But yeah, I have to do that exercise and see exactly what's the point that I'm worried about, and probably understand that I can do nothing to solve it. Just
and also it's important to see, like, what are we thinking also? Like, where is this worry coming from? Like, is it from fear? What do we feel? Like we're going to be disappointed? Or are we going to disappoint someone? Like, where is this worry coming from? Like, what is that thought creating that emotion, right? Like we feel worry, for example. So that worry comes from, it's like first you have a thought, then that thought creates an emotion. Then that emotion creates an action. It makes us, do something or not do something. And then that action creates a result. So what you have to, it's important to
Go backwards.
go and look at what you're feeling in order to also understand what's going on inside your mind. And is it true, like what you're feeling? Like, okay, do you say I don't like Christmas? Like, and why is that? What do you think of? Try to ask yourself questions like, is it true, and why is that? Or how would you feel if you're worried about what is it that you're worrying about? And imagine it's already happened. If it's already true, like. How would you feel, or how imagine yourself in that situation in the future, or imagine it's already solved, and then how would that feel? But when it's uncertainty coming from this pandemic type of uncertainty, it's obviously very difficult to feel reassured and hard.
Okay, thanks for the tips, Lorena.
Yeah, it's also the insecurity, no, we have. It's not. It's everything, no. You don't know what are you gonna do next week.
No. Yeah.
And this is killing you, Like me, for example, this for me it's very terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do Monday.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Yeah, how you are having a business, it's going well, but yeah, it's going well today.
Yeah.
How it's gonna go Monday, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Going and thinking if going home for Christmas is already, wow, too much, You think, okay, let's wait if I arrive the 22 of December alive.
Yes.
And then I will see if I'm going to my house or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's so everything so unstable, so insecure.
Yeah, especially when you manage a business, because I always think about the restaurants and bars, which are the most affected right now. How do you manage a business like that with your employees? Like it's how do you? It's so difficult.
It's a nightmare, because of course you also these people depend also of you. La troisième. Première, seconde, troisième.
Business.
Business, I'm in my word.
Yeah, you speak good French.
Yeah, I speak very well French. Yeah. And it's very difficult. It's very, very, very difficult, because of course you are responsible. Of course, you are not, but the people who are working for you, these people depend on you. But if I make a mistake, it's my mistake. I'm really sorry, but now it's really, where are we going?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But also, like I said earlier to Valentina, there are some things that, if you're worried, like what's going to happen next week, we don't know. Maybe you will continue. And so worrying too much about something that hasn't happened yet, it's not really helping you. You can have like a plan B. Okay, like if on Monday I have to close down everything, have a plan ready in case you have to make a decision, in 24 hours. But worrying about something that hasn't happened yet is a bit of
Lorena, we are in 2020. What never happened is gonna happen, and then you think, oh my God, what are we gonna do?
But so that's a bit the point of what I talked about today. Like there are things that we can't avoid feeling worried and stressed and anxious and all of these feelings. It's very difficult to avoid it, really. I don't think anybody is not feeling stress nowadays, but you can help your body. You can kind of create a support, right, to do things that will help you not reach a burnout, because what happens is that then, you know, you worry, how are you going to keep up your business and everything? But then if you're in total burnout mode and you have to, because it happens, you know, some people are burnt out, like they can't do anything else, and they have to stay in bed, or they have to stay home. And so, you know, if you reach that point, then that business that you were trying to save, how are you gonna, you know, it's a little, you think you're helping yourself, but you're actually
not.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I think a lot of my stress comes from isolation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually, all of the solutions you're giving are great, but they're something you do for yourself. And I really need people.
Yeah.
And the stress is coming because I'm just in my own world, in my own bubble. I can go for a walk in the woods. I can meditate. I can eat right. I can do all of those things, but it's just me, and I'm going a bit nuts.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm starting to join more of these discussions because I think I just need to see people and talk.
Totally.
It's like really getting to me, especially the last couple of weeks, you know, no restaurants, no friends, no nothing. So I was wondering if what your suggestions are, I guess, other than joining Zooms, you know, how do you deal with this social stress, this lack of social stress, I guess, or isolation or loneliness stress or remote stress? I don't know what you want to call it.
Yes, absolutely. That's also very hard. Thank God we have these type of meetings now, like especially here on planet Venus, like you almost every day you have one of these events where you can also, and it's great that you can participate. It's not just like a webinar where you listen, you can actually interact and talk to other people. So try to make the most of these and attend these workshops, because I think that's great. And then, well, you can still go out, and maybe you can, you know, if you know people in your neighborhood, you can meet them at a distance and have a little chat, you know, make a point of going out and you know, what if, you know, the shops around your house, if they're open, have a chat with the people, and they're probably not very busy, and they will be super happy to talk to someone too, because they might not have too many clients coming in. But I think it's a question of kind of forcing yourself to, you know, leave the house and maybe ask, you know, tell a friend or two to meet you in the corner of, you know, or go for a walk with somebody.
I'm doing that tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's just a weird stress. It's not one I've ever had before.
Yes.
Different. It's like a slow moving quicksand, sadness.
Yes.
Sluggish, lack of motivation. It's very strange. Like I'm go, and I have a million things going on, and all of a sudden it's like, and it's not. Yeah, work is stressful because there isn't any at the moment. It's not like I'm burned out. I'm like, I need something to do, you know. So it's just everything is so different. Navigating.
Yeah. And you don't have that structure, right, in your day. Like you wake up, you go to work.
In meetings all day long, and now I'm like, oh.
Yes.
You know, time flies, and then you're like, what have I done? And it's just odd.
Yeah. For me, this was something that I've learned during the pandemic. It is years ago, or in my past when I used to work a lot, I didn't have much free time, or I didn't want to spend it with my friends because I was very busy, and I preferred to stay at home and relax and digest everything that happened during the week. And now I've realized just the opposite, how important were those moments with my friends. And the first thing I'm going to do once everything goes back to normality is dedicate more time to them and sharing moments with them, because now I see the importance of it. And it was something that I didn't used to do in the past. So it's a kind of knowledge because of this.
Yes, and that's a good thing. That I mean, this pandemic is terrible. It's not a good thing, that's for sure. But there are many things that a few things that we can like one of those things is appreciating things that before we took for granted. Like now for me, every day I go out for a walk, and every day I'm like, it's great that I can go out, because I remember in the previous lockdown, we couldn't even go out from the house. So, you know, now just going out, you know, even if it's around the block, it's already amazing. So even that tiny thing, like I appreciate it, because I don't know how long it's gonna last.
Yeah.
Like we lived in a time when we couldn't do that, so now you appreciate it. So you appreciate being with your friends and being able to hug them and being close to them. And now it's a bit like, oh, you know, you're with your mask, and it's everything has changed so much. But I think there are some things that we appreciate now a little more, because we know that they might not last very long.
That's it.
I think one thing that really helped me during the last lockdown and also this lockdown was to find things that, you know, I didn't have time for in the past, and then just, you know, get into it. So now, for example, I'm cooking much more, and I've really rediscovered my passion for cooking. And I'm also, I think I'm enrolled in, I don't know how many online courses, but, you know, I'm kind of also rediscovering my passion for, you know, what I want to learn. You know, there were so many things I always wanted to learn, but I didn't have the time. So I'm kind of, you know, trying to see the positive in it, and then to see, okay, what are the things I never had time for, and you know, and that makes me now actually super grateful for the time that we have now, because I mean, apart from the fact that it's horrible, of course, what is going on, but, you know, on the other hand side, I'm like, maybe we will never have this time again where we are forced to slow down. And and maybe I will never have this time again to do my 100 online courses, you know. So so that's something that really helped me.
Yeah, definitely.
It helps a lot. Such a positive attitude, Mona.
Yeah.
Well, girls, I think it's time to stop and digest a little bit of this and practice.
Yeah, I hope it was helpful. Any other questions, you can contact me or send a message on the forum, on the Planet Venus, on the platform. So it's been great. Thank you.
Thanks, Lorena. Thank all the girls.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Iraya, ¿eres tú?